Hey everybody, and welcome back to the channel. I'm Thomas Care, and today I am bringing you 5 pieces of information that you should know about if you are considering doing the Grafton Loop Trail. Stay tuned. Okay, so if you've been following along on the channel, then you know I just recently completed the Grafton Loop Trail, and I have a few different videos on that which you can go check out if you have not seen them already. I did it over the course of 3 days, and I made a video for each day as well as a highlight video to just kind of encapsulate the whole trip into one quick video. So make sure to check those out if you have not already. Okay, so the first thing you need to know before doing the Grafton Loop Trail is in regards to the route. So it is a loop, as the name suggests, which makes it really nice that you can just park in one spot and start and end at the same place. It makes it really convenient for doing the hike, especially if you're by yourself. But you've got 2 different trailheads that you can choose from when you're going to do this trail. There's one which I refer to as the southern trailhead down by Puzzle Mountain, and then there's the northern trailhead, which is at the Grafton Notch State Park, where you would go to do Old Spec or the Baldpates. In my view, it doesn't really matter which one you start at, and the other decision you have to make in regards to the route is which direction you are going to go, whether you're going to do the loop clockwise or counterclockwise. And again, I don't really think it matters. I really kind of did some research before I did this hike to try to decide which way I was going to go, and I found that it really didn't seem to be easier or harder either way. And even after completing the loop, I still kind of hold that belief that you could go either way and kind of have the same experience. I did the loop clockwise, and I started at the northern trailhead, going up the Baldpates, coming around and finishing off with Old Spec. I partially wanted to do this because I wanted to finish on Old Spec, and it is the highest point on the loop, so I thought that'd be a good way to end it off. Look at how massive this maple leaf is. I mean, I have big hands, but like still, that is huge. Okay, so now that you have your route picked out, you know which trailhead you're starting from and which direction you're going, the next thing you may be wondering is, what is the terrain like? And I can tell you, it is quite rugged. For instance, going up the Baldpates are steep and very rocky, lots of slabs and whatnot. So you might want to consider that when you are planning and thinking about how many miles you want to do. It will definitely slow you down. So you've got the rugged terrain, and then the other challenge is overgrown trails. And there is quite a decent amount of overgrown sections of the trail that just have not been maintained for quite a while. So that slowed me down a ton for various portions of the hike. That is pretty much all on the eastern half of the loop. The western half, for the most part, when I was on it, was pretty easy going as far as the trail being maintained, but the eastern half has some big sections that are pretty overgrown, lots of blowdowns. So just anticipate that when you are planning out your route and figuring out your mileage for each day. Okay, so the next thing that you need to know about the Grafton Loop Trail, and this is a quick one, is that a lot of it is on private land, which is great that landowners have allowed us hikers to utilize their property to have this trail. But it also means that they don't want you camping outside of the designated campsites, and they want you to stay on the trail as much as possible. So just be aware of that when you're hiking this trail. Be respectful of the landowners, and they have allowed us to use this land, so let's be respectful of that. So here we are at the fourth thing that you should know about the Grafton Loop Trail. And you may be wondering this now that I said that about camping in the private land, is where can you camp? Well, there are, I think, 9 designated campsites along the loop. So you have plenty of options to choose from. And when planning your route, you can kind of just customize it based on the miles you want to do each day. And even if you have to adjust, you know, while you're hiking one day, if your plans change, you can do that pretty easily. If you watched my my hike of the loop trail, you'll know on day 2 I actually had to go to a different campsite because the one I was going to was flooded. It had rained the night before, so I had to hike a lot more miles than I planned on, but I was able to go find a different campsite and it all turned out okay. And now for the final piece of information that you may want to know before hiking the Grafton Loop Trail. That is water sources. When I hiked it, there were many water sources. It was plentiful. We did have a very wet summer, so I'm sure that had something to do with it. But there are all kinds of little streams that you go over constantly pretty much. I mean, in some places the trail was actually a stream, so I had no problem getting water. There are some larger streams that are more reliable water sources, and most of the campsites, I didn't go into every campsite, but the ones I was at all had water sources right nearby. So water really isn't a problem on this trail unless you're in some kind of drought, but not really something to worry about. You don't have to do any big long water carries. So water, not something to be too concerned about when doing this trail. Well, there you go. There are 5 things that you might have wanted to know about the Grafton Loop Trail before you hike it. I hope you found this video helpful. Just as a quick recap, it is a very, rugged trail. It will be challenging, but there are plenty of campsites, plenty of water sources. Be aware of the private land that you go over and enjoy the trail when you hike it. Thanks for watching. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't already. Give this video a like. It really helps out a bunch, and I will see you in the next video. See you later. Oh, also, if there was another question that you had about this trail that didn't get answered in this video, leave it for me in the comments below and I will answer your question. All right, bye.